So, opportunities, where should you be looking going forward? I mean, I mentioned about secondary commercial areas. You've got certain permitted development rights to do things to buildings that sort of sidestep traditional planning, so you don't need full planning. So you remove the powers from the planners and you can get things through in about 56 days. So commercial conversions, turning commercial buildings into residential, I think will be quite a lucrative angle. Obviously, you just need to make sure you're keeping track of your build costs on that one. I know from dealing with Dennis, there's a few charities are looking for just like 2 flats, aren't they, at the moment? So I put commercial conversions there, and people are thinking, massive skyscrapers, turn them into flats. It's not that, it might just be a corner shop that you can convert the downstairs and the upstairs into 2 flats. And then you can get a lucrative sort of 7, 10, 15-year deal on, and all of a sudden, you've got guaranteed income for that long. House builders are stalling. So who's going to pick up the pieces? There's going to be a lot of opportunities with some of the planning changes coming in, and obviously the council's not hitting their housing targets for smaller infill plots. They're also getting away from things like nutrient neutrality. They're going to come in with like a SIL type levy, community infrastructure levy, if anyone deals in planning. I mean, the problem we got at the moment is, the Tees is full of basically shit. They're trying to penalise developers for overnight bed stays we're creating, which is just a tax basically. And when your margins are quite slim already, sometimes it's the final nail in the coffin. So what they're going to do is just bring out a blanket system where if you're creating an HMO, a sui generis HMO with 7 toilets, say, it'll be there's £1,000 to pay or something like that. So a lot of the red tape is being removed. Some of these smaller development and conversion sites are going to become a lot more viable. I've already mentioned supported tenancies. I think there's as Dennis pointed out as well, just knowing that your rent is going to come in for the next 7 years, that's quite a nice feeling, isn't it? You don't have to worry about them. Someone else is picking up the pieces. I mean, certainly with some of the tenancies we've got, working with similar providers or the same providers as Dennis, I just don't hear from anyone. I don't care. It's just they pay the rent, they sort the problems out. It's a nice way to be. With all of these developments in the area, contractor service accommodation is obviously Dennis touched on that one as well. Could be quite a lucrative one. And I know these guys have been developing them in the past, but it's more like heads on beds, isn't it? You need bigger properties rather than your 1 beds and your 2 beds. Talking like 3 or 4 beds, people want to put 4, 5, 6 people in there, off-street parking if you can get it. And then we're seeing a lot of people who are doing larger holiday lets, things like wellness retreats, family get-togethers and things like that. Again, thinking 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 bedrooms. They seem to be very popular and they're making good money at the moment as well. Planning gains, if you don't want the risk of development, because there's a lot that can go wrong, let someone else deal with that. Just if you can have the conversation with a landowner or a building owner, again, commercial conversions is a good example, just you do the planning and then sell it on to some other mug who's going to take the risk on the development. They can deal with Roma when they're repossessing their houses and stuff like that. Roma don't do that, by the way. They're very, very relaxed. Maximising development prior to change of use. So there's a lot of PD changes coming, even for the smaller domestic level stuff.